The Jolly Beggars by Robert Burns. When light leaves bestrow the yeard, or wavering like the bocky bird, be dim cold Boreas's blast, when hail stains drive with bitter skite, and infant frosts begin to bite in hoary cran rush dressed, and night and a merry core o'er randy gangrel bodies in poosy Nancy's held the splore. To drink their ora duties, with quaffing and laughing they ranted and they sang, with jumping and thumping the very good old rang. First nighest the fire in old red rags, ane sat wheel brecht with mealy bags and knapsacks an order. His doxy lay within his arms, with oose cabay and blankets warm. She blinketh on her a sodger, and aye he gazed the tossy drab, the tither a skelpin kiss, while she held up her greedy gab. Just like an almost dish, ilk smack still, did crack still, just like a cager's whip. And staggering and swaggering, he roared this ditty up. I am a son of Mars, who have been in many wars, and show my cuts and scars wherever I come. This here was for a wench, and that other in a trench, when welcoming the French at the sound of the drum. La-di-doodle. My apprenticeship I passed, where my leader breathed his last, when the bloody die was cast on the heights of Abram, and I served out my trade when the gallant game was played. And the morrow was laid at the sound of the drum. I lastly was with Curtis among the floating batteries, and there I left for witness an arm and a limb, yet my country need me, with Elliot to head me. I'd clatter on my stumps at the sound of a drum. And now, though I must beg with a wooden arm and leg, and many a tattered rag hanging over my bum, I'm as happy with my wallet, my bottle, and my Calais, as when I used in scarlet to follow a drum. What though with hoary locks I must stand the winter's shocks, beneath the woods and rocks oft times for a home, when the t'other bag I sell and the t'other bottle tell, I could meet a troop of hell at the sound of a drum. He ended and the key bar shook, aboon the chorus roar, while frighted Ratton's backward look, and seek the benmost bore. A fairy fiddler frae the nook, he skirled out encore. But up arose the martial chuck, and laid the loud uproar. I once was a maid, though I cannot tell when, and still my delight is in the proper young men. Some one of a troop of dragoons was my daddy. No wonder I'm fond of a soldier laddie, sing la-dee-dal. The first of my loves was a swaggering blade, to rattling the thundering drum was his trade. His leg was so tight and his cheek was so ruddy, transported I was with my sodger laddie. But the godly old chaplain left him in the lurch. The sword I forsook for the sake of the church. He ventured the soul, and I risked the body. 'Twas then I proved false to my sodger laddie. Full soon I grew sick of my sanctified sot. The regiment at large for a husband I got. From the gilded spontoon to the fife I was ready. I asked no more but a soldier laddie. But the peace it reduced me to beg and despair, till I met my old boy at the Cunningham fair. His rags regimental they fluttered so gaudy, my heart it rejoiced at a soldier laddie. And now I have lived I know not how long, and still I can join in a cup or a song. But whilst with both hands I can hold the glass steady, here's to thee, my hero, my soldier laddie. Poor Mary Andrew in the nook sat guzzling with a tinkler hizzy. They mind ta and wah the chorus took, between themselves they were so busy. At length with drink and court shooting dizzy, he stottered up and made a face, then turned and laid a smack on Grizzy. Sin tuned his pipes with grave grimace. Sir Wisdom's a fool when he's a fool. Sir Knave's a fool in a session. He's there but a prentice, I trow, but I am a fool by profession. My granny, she bought me a book, and I held a while to the school. I fear I my talent mistook, but what will ye have a fool for? Drink I would venture my neck, a hizzy the half of my craft, but what could ye others expect of ane that's avowedly daft? I ance was tied up like a stirk for civilly swearing and quaffing. I ance was abused i' the kirk for twizzling a lass in my daffin. Poor Andrew, the tumbles for sport let naebody name with a jeer. There's even, I'm told, in the court a tumbler called the premier. Observe ye yon reverend lad makes faces to tickle the mod. He rails at our Mount Blank squad. It's a rivalship just in the job. And now my conclusion I'll tell, for faith I'm confoundedly dry. The chiel that's a fool for himself, good Lord, he's far dafter than I. Then nighest out Spack and Rockle Carlin were kent for wheel to cleek for us the sterling. For many a Percy she had hook it, and had in money a well ben duke it. Her love had been a Highland laddie, but weary far the way fu woody. With sighs and sobs she thus began to wail her broad John Highland man, a Highland lad my love was born. The Lowland laws he held in scorn, but he still was faithful to the clan, my gallant broad John Highland man. Sing hey, my broad John Highland man, sing ho, my broad John Highland man. There's no lad in the land was match for my John Highland man. With his fillibeg and tartan plaid, and good claymore down by his side, the ladies' hearts he did trepan. My gallant broad John Highland man, we ranged from Tweed to Spey, and lived like lords and ladies gay. For a lowland face he feared nane. My gallant broad John Highland man, they banished him beyond the sea, but ere the bud was on the tree, adown my cheeks the pearls ran, embracing my John Highland man. But oh, they'd catched him at last, and bound him in a dungeon fast. My curse upon them every one, they've hanged my broad John Highland man. And now a widow I must mourn, the pleasures that will ne'er return, no comfort but a hearty can, when I think on John Highland man. A pygmy scraper with his fiddle, why used at tryst and fairs to driddle, a strapping limb and gowsy middle, he reached na higher, had hold his hearty like a riddle, and burnt on fire, with hand on haunch and upward day. He crooned his gallant 1, 2, 3, then in an arioso key the wee Apollo set aft with allegretto glee his giga solo.